Yes, it pays to have good credit.
You would always want to be on the side of having good credit.
Do you think it pays to have good credit? Welcome to the It Pays to Have Good Credit podcast, where we talk about credit scores, business, finances, and take calls to answer all questions related to those topics. To call in, call 225-243-9700 and press option 1 to join in. All right, let's talk about some of the best credit cards that you can apply for in 2024 for spring. So I have a list here based on 4 different categories. Okay, this is going to be for credit building, personal use, business, and 0% financing. And the reason I stuck to those 4 categories, of course, I could have included travel and things like that. Travel usually have annual fees attached to it, and a lot of times most people just prefer to use a traditional cashback credit card to use for travel anyway. So I just left travel completely out of it. I'm sure there's some that fits the travel credit cards, whatever the case is, but let's just stick to these 4. Okay, so for April of 2024, these are some of the best credit cards for each category here. So let's talk about credit building. These are for people who have bad credit, which means they have negative items affecting their credit scores, late payments, collection accounts, whatever the case is, or they have 0 credit history at all, which means they never financed anything and their credit scores is a 0, which means they have no credit. A credit building credit card is called a secure credit card. So since these people have 0 credit history or they have negative items reporting to their credit reports, they are considered a high risk consumer, which means they are at high risk for not being able to pay back the amount that they spend on the credit card. However, banks have pretty much created a way that's not a risk for them, which is called a secured credit card, which means you, as someone with no credit history or bad credit history, deposits your own money to the bank, and then the bank gives you a credit card based on that deposit that you gave them. So let me restate that. So let's say if I have bad credit and I can't get approved for a regular credit card, however, I can get approved for a secure credit card. So since I'm high risk, I'm going to give the bank $200. Okay. So the bank is going to make a credit card and give me a $200 credit limit because I gave them $200. So they're using my money to fund this $200 secure credit card. And once I'm done with the account, they just give me the money back. Or once I close the account, whatever the case, the money goes back to you. It's just a security deposit. It's a secured credit card, which means the banks are not at risk because they aren't loaning you money. You loan the bank money and they just turn your cash into a card that reports to your credit history. That's all that is. So the best card that I found for credit building, April of 2024, one may come out better later this year. So again, for spring season in April 2024, I am going to go with the Discover It Secure. Reason being, this is one of the only secure credit cards that allows you to collect cash back. That stuff adds up. If you're spending this card to pay your bills and you're paying it in full every month, that's the goal. We do not teach people to get in credit card debt. We teach people how to use credit to make free money. So if you're spending just a handful of money, of course, the points probably isn't going to benefit you enough to use a credit card. But if you're a business owner, you're a high spender, or you have a ton of bills every month, like utility bills and things like that around your house or your home, then yeah, use a credit card and pay it off the money that you was going to pay the bill with anyway and just get free money. It's a win-win. So Discover It Secured gives you 1% to 2% cash back depending on the category. You know, it depends if it's groceries or if it's fuel or if it's online shopping. You know, you have to check with Discover to see which category gives you the most. But their card ranks for 1 to 2% back in cash back spending. They have a $0 annual fee. So that's another thing. All of these cards, I'm telling you, no annual fees. You know, I just want to keep it simple with people because I could have easily put better credit cards on this list. But what would have happened was people would have been like, oh, well, I don't make enough cash back on this card to justify the annual fee. So I'm going to bypass that because some of these cards are just as good as the bigger cards with annual fees. But it will only make sense to get those if you're a heavy spender, a good spender who's paying it off every month, you know, mostly a business owner or somebody like that that has a lot of expenses per month. Then yeah, justify the annual fee because you're going to make 10 times the annual fee back in cash back. So therefore it's free. So yeah, 0% annual fee and then 1 to 2% cash back with the Discover It secure credit card. Okay. Next category, personal use credit card. So people that have good credit and you want a credit card for spending, and everybody should have a credit card. You know, you may have some people, oh, I'm not a business owner and I don't have enough bills to justify using a credit card and potentially be at high risk of getting in debt to justify me getting a credit card and using that and then paying it off. Or I do have good credit. I have good discipline to pay off the card. I just don't feel like going back and forth, swiping a card and then paying it off of my cash. You know, I just rather use the bank or use my debit card because that's what Dave Ramsey taught me. You know, you have a lot of people like that, which I understand. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, again, we do not teach people to get in debt here at Sturgis Credit Repair or on the It Pays to Have Good Credit podcast. We teach people to use credit to their advantage. That's the difference. We don't teach people to get in debt. We don't teach people that it's okay to be in debt, just pay it off. We teach them to use it only if it's making them a better, you know, financial standpoint in the future. So personal credit card, this is why I believe you and everyone should have one. Let's say if you travel out of the country, okay, and you use your debit card. When you swipe your debit card, you're going to get foreign transaction fees. Okay, those fees add up. With a credit card, you can go out of the country and there's no fees associated with that. Okay, something else. Let's say you go to a gas station and you swipe your card at the pump and there's one of those scammer things in it and it hacks your bank account. Okay, if your credit card, the money on that gets hacked, well, that's not your money. That's the bank's money. They would just reload your card to your available credit limit and then the bank will worry about getting their money later on. And it has nothing to do with you, opposed to if you swipe your debit card and your debit card got hacked or scammed or robbed or whatever, then you have to probably wait a month just to dispute it and get the results back. And that's if you can get your money refunded. So when it comes to personal spending, I just use my credit card because it protects my money. And I already have the money to pay for it. Okay, so let me break that down again. We don't teach people to get in debt. We teach people to use credit as leverage or to their advantage. So let's take credit out of it. And I have $500 in bills every month. Okay, the month just came. I have $500 worth of bills. I got the $500 right here in my hand. I got $500. Now, instead of me paying my bills with this $500, I'm just going to set it to the side, take out my credit card, swipe my card, make 2% cash back, and take the money that I already had and pay off that $500 on this credit card. And at the end of the month, my balance is zero, just like it would have been if I just used the cash to pay for it anyway. Okay. And then I just made 2% back. So really, whichever way you look at it, you're either making money or your bills are cheaper because your bills are now 2% cheaper because you've gotten it back. So throughout the year, I make hundreds and thousands of dollars throughout the year, you know, hundreds on my personal side and thousands on my business side, because I understand to use credit to my advantage. I don't use credit to get in debt. I am in zero credit card debt because I understand to pay my bills off on time and in full. I don't swipe a credit card and expect to pay it off over the next 2 or 3 months. I swipe my card because I already have the money to pay it off. So I'm just getting free money. Okay. So that's on the personal side. So for those of you who are listening, a personal credit card, you do not need to own a business to have a personal credit card. This is just for every consumer out there. The best one that I would choose in this category will be the Capital One SaverOne credit card. Reason being, again, $0 annual fee. It's a free card. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay. Secondly, 0% financing for 15 months. We're going to talk about 0% financing on the next category, but it does offer 15 months of interest-free financing. So if something did pop up unexpectedly, you can potentially use this card, but I'm gonna give you a better one here in a few minutes. But you can potentially use this card and not having to worry about interest for 15 months, a year and a half. So that's good to know. Secondly, a $200 bonus is given to you on this card when you spend a certain amount. So let's say if I think this amount was like $2,000 or something like that. Yeah, that's expensive. But look here, if I'm going to spend, okay, perfect example. Let's say if I'm about to go on vacation, I am actually going on one in about a month, and the room is actually $2,000 for the handful of days I'm there. Okay, so if I were about to spend $2,000 cash for this resort room, okay, I got the $2,000, I can pay it in cash right now or pay it on my debit card right now. I'm not going to use it. Okay, I'm going to get out my credit card, swipe my credit card for that $2,000, because that $2,000 earns me $200. And then that $2,000 cash that I already had up front to pay for this vacation, I'm just going to go back the very next day and just pay it off my credit card. And it costs me $0 in interest. I'm not in credit card debt. At the end of the month, I'm in zero credit card debt. Okay. And then I just made $200 plus the 2 or 3% cash back the card would have made me also. So I probably would have made like $2,100 just from, not 2,100, I'm sorry, $210 just from swiping our credit card for what I already had the money for that would have earned me $0. It's discipline. Again, I keep saying this, we teach people how to use credit to their advantage, not to get in debt. There's a difference. Okay. Lastly, this Capital One SaverOne card, it gives 3 to 8% cash back on special spending. So there's certain spending categories. You know, if you go to Walmart or a grocery store, it's going to fall under shopping. If you go to a gas station, it's going to fall under fuel or travel. If you buy a hotel, it's going to fall under travel. If you pay a utility bill, it's going to fall under bills and utilities. So depending on the category, they do have monthly or special spending categories. And instead of the 1.5% to 2% cash back, normally they are giving you 3 to 8% cash back if you spend certain things with them. So, you know, that can help out a lot. And I think dining, if you go to a restaurant or, you know, fast food, you get 3% back as well on this card. So that's it for personal use. Definitely look out for those. The next category is 0% financing. Okay, so I'm gonna break this down real quick because I know just a minute ago I said we do not teach people to get in debt. We do not teach people to get in credit card debt or pay things over time and they lose a job and they can't finish paying it off. I get that. I understand what Dave Ramsey and all of these no debt guys believe in. I get it. I'm in no debt, but I also have good credit because I use things to my advantage. So these 0% financing cards that's out there, which is the next category, the best one for this is the Wells Fargo Reflect. It has a $0 annual fee. It's a free card. Okay, this card is mainly going to be for people who are in credit card debt. And instead of paying 27% interest every single month, you can transfer those balances to this card here and pay 0% interest for 21 months. So you have 21 months to pay off credit card debt versus probably 36 months if the interest was being added to it every single month. So, you know, a lot of people, when they heard me say 0% financing, some of y'all probably already jumped to conclusions. Oh, there you go. He just said he don't teach people to get in debt. Now he's telling people to get a credit card with 0% financing, and they go out and get in debt. And what if they lose a job? So here's the thing. This card, I do not recommend it if you are trying to, and again, this is on a personal side. If we're talking business, which we're about to next, I'm gonna talk about using debt as leverage. But on a personal side, do not get a 0% financing credit card and go out and buy furniture, $5,000 worth of stuff, if you don't have $5,000 to pay off this month, you know, because what if you lose your job next month? Now you stuck with a $5,000 balance. That 21 months is going to be over. You're still going to have that $5,000 balance that's on there, and now it's going to turn into $10,000 over the next 3 years. So I get it. You know, if you don't have the money to spend for it, do not apply for it. I am only recommending this for people who are in credit card debt and need to take $5,000 off of a credit card that's charging 30% interest. Now you can put it on this one and you can at least pay off your credit card debt sooner. So that's the only reason why I'm recommending a 0% financing credit card. So check out the Wells Fargo Reflect. Now, things are about to get a little bit different, and I'm gonna talk about it here. And this category is for business owners. So let's talk about the best business credit card that I would choose, and that is going to be the Chase Inc. Business Cash Credit Card. Reason being, $0 annual fee. Again, doesn't cost you nothing. $0 or 0% APR for 12 months. It's not long, but 12 months. So as a business owner, and this is something that I did, okay? If you are a business owner, and let's talk about full-time business owner, you're not working a W-2 job, you're full 1099, you're full self-employed. You being a business owner is a risk. It is a risk not having a guaranteed paycheck. When I go to work every day with my business, I understand it is a risk for me, you know, and my family, by me not having a secure job, you know. However, I mean, I know that sounds weird, but I'm just trying to break this down. So what I'm getting at, me owning a business is a risk. You should not be a business owner if you are afraid to take risks, because owning a business is a high risk. Things can go up, things can go down real quick. So with that being said, this 0% financing for 12 months, I would take advantage of this if I was a business owner, because that's one of the ways that I grew my business with a 0% financing credit card. I believe it was the Wells Fargo Active Cash that had 0% for 18 months. And I paid for all of my marketing because I didn't have the money. So that $8,000 that I used for marketing those few months, I made back probably over 6 figures from the clientele that I received from that $8,000 in marketing. So I am only suggesting a business owner considering this 0% financing for 12 months if you have a strong business plan, okay? You have consistent cash flow. Let's say if you make $10,000 a month, and out of that 10,000, 6,000 or 7,000 of it is 100% cash flow after all of your bills and things like that, and you spend $10,000, you know, it's not too far out of the way, but it is something that's probably going to take 2 or 3 months for you to pay off. You know, you have a good bit of cash flow. So if you have this 0% offer, definitely use it for your business, because that's one of the ways that I grew my business so quick, because it's free money at that point. You know, it doesn't cost you anything, and you can get ahead in business, and then it pays for itself before that 12 months is over. But if you don't have a plan and you don't have a strong, consistent cash flow already with your business, then don't touch the 0% financing, because you're just going to get in debt and it's just going to ruin your business. So only do it if you have consistent cash flow and you have a strong business plan and you're almost confident in whatever you invest in for 12 months with 0% financing will pay for itself times 2 or 3 times before this 12 months is over. Okay. Secondly, this bonus here, intro bonus of $750. I mean, that's almost $1,000. By the time you spend the amount that's required, I think it was what, 3,000 or 6,000, I can't remember, but you have to spend that within 3 months, which most of you guys are spending that anyway. Marketing, inventory, gas, fuel. If you're a landscaping lawn care guy, you're spending that in fuel, you know, going to all these jobs, driving to these different sites, doing free quotes. You know, if you're a online business or a business that does a lot of shipping, inventory and things like that, you're spending that on inventory and marketing to run that online business. So don't get afraid of the spending amount. The money that you are going to spend already, instead of you paying that with a business debit card or just cash, use this offer here, this credit card, and just use the money that you was going to spend anyway and just pay it right back off. And that's a free $750 on top of the 2 to 3% you was going to get back. I mean, you would have made easily $1,000 within the first 3 months on this credit card. I mean, that $1,000 can give you a month of free marketing ads right there, or, you know, take you and your family flying somewhere, who knows. So lastly, this card has up to 5% 5% cash back on special spending categories. You will have to go to Chase website and see exactly what month they're going to do, which category, or what exactly are they referring to on a special spending category. It may be buying things directly through their travel site or directly through their Chase website, whatever the case is. Or it may be on a special spending category like food this month, or fuel and travel this month, stuff like that. So those are my 4 best selected or best recommended credit cards for each category here. So again, to build your credit history, check out the Discover It secured card. If you want a personal credit card, check out the Capital One Saver One. If you want 0% financing / balance transfer, if you want to transfer some credit card balances that you're paying high interest on today, transfer that balance onto a 0% financing card for 21 months. Check out the Wells Fargo Reflect. It's going to save you some money and you pay off your debt sooner. And then for a business owner, check out the Business Inc. Business Cash Credit Card. It offers some pretty good offers there. So that is all for this episode. I hope you guys have learned something. And, you know, like I said, if you get one of those cards, use the card correctly. We do not advise you to get in credit card debt. It's going to ruin your credit. It's going to ruin your finances and potentially your marriage or relationship. So just do things the smart way. We do not teach people to mess up their lifestyle with credit. We just educate people on how to use credit correctly. That's all for this one. If you use credit to improve your lifestyle and would like to share your story on the It Pays to Have Good Credit podcast, feel free to reach out to us at info@SturgisCreditRepair.com. Sturgis is spelled STIRGUS, creditrepair.com.